Hey YouTubers, welcome back to the channel. This is Everyday Finance and I'm your host Bobby. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to smash that like, subscribe, and notification bell so that you'll get notifications about future content and videos similar to what you'll see in this video. In today's video, we're going to talk about generational wealth. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about. It's something that I've wanted to create a video on for a very long time. We're going to talk about how do you define generational wealth, what are some examples of generational wealth in today's society, as well as different steps that you can take right now to create or start generational wealth for you and your family. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Generational wealth, what is it? How do you get it? And what does it mean for you and your family? Well, we all know what it means, right? Having money and lots of it. Wealth is something that we all want and want to always have. Being wealthy is great, but there's a difference between wealth and generational wealth, which is the focus of this video. Let's not beat around the bush though. Being wealthy is life-changing. A life of luxury, financial freedom, and power are three of the things that come with being wealthy. Wealth is also a measurable number. In a Charles Schwab survey in 2019, participants saw the wealthy threshold as being $2.3 million. I know what you're thinking. That is a lot of money. And why that specific number, right? This number was used because it can generate a passive income of $138,000 if you assume a return of 6%. So in layman's terms, people see this number as the amount necessary to make $140K a year without touching the original investment. Generational wealth is different. A special number like say 20 or 50 million can't be placed on it. Generational wealth is achieved when you've accumulated enough investments to pay for your family's living expenses in perpetuity without touching the principal. For those not familiar with the term, perpetuity is just a fancy way of saying that you'll have cash payouts forever. Now with generational wealth, it's wealth that transcends through different generations. For the focus of this video, we mean at least 3 generations, with yourself being the first generation, your kids being the second generation, and your grandkids being the third generation. Ever heard someone say that they have enough money to take care of their kids' kids? They're referring to generational wealth. Generational wealth is not something that's limited to celebrities, athletes, or millionaires. You can create generational wealth for you and your family right now. Let's talk about how. So how do you create generational wealth? Well, when we're talking about generational wealth or being wealthy, we're talking about money. Money is the core of generational wealth. This we all know with certainty. What eludes or may escape many people are the habits or decision making that lead to this transcending wealth and help maintain it. Let's take a look at a few habits that will create and help maintain generational wealth for you and your family. The first habit that will help create and maintain generational wealth for you and your family is informing yourself. You ever see something, say a piece of artwork or a building, and wonder how someone created it? Many people view wealth the same way. In the simplest of terms, go to Google and search generational wealth and read the different articles and blogs that address it. In addition, you'll want to read excerpts that come from people who have achieved this elusive goal or who are the beneficiaries of it. Information is empowering. It creates the plan and the foundation that's necessary to not only create generational wealth, but maintain it as well. Achieving generational wealth isn't enough. We aren't on this journey for bragging rights. We're on this journey to create the life that you've always wanted for you and your family as well. The next habit is to maximize your human capital. First things first, human capital we define as your skills/experience in a value format. Are you currently maximizing your human capital? We want to maximize this because it creates a bigger gap between your income and expenses. With more free income comes additional money that you can invest and help push your family towards your goal of financial freedom and generational wealth. For most people, maximization comes in the form of a wage increase or promotion at a job or company. You'll want to look into these if the opportunity exists for you. In other cases, if outside opportunities exist, you'll want to look into these as well. Making such a change can be daunting and also challenging. But remember, change is at the center of what we're trying to create here with generational wealth. Maintain or decrease expenses. Previously, I made a video called 5 Steps That You Can Take to Make Yourself a Boss Over Your Finances. If you haven't already, please stop the video and go back and watch that video. I promise you, it'll make so much sense to you as to why once you've completed that video. Within that video, I talked about controlling and decreasing your expenses. The same exists with generational wealth. Not allowing your expenses to match your income are paramount to creating generational wealth. In addition, you can use these free funds to invest and create additional capital and wealth for your family that'll create longevity over time. Having money doesn't mean that you have to spend it. Unfortunately, the way commerce and marketing is set up, you can't go anywhere without being enticed to spend money. Don't do it. Holidays, birthdays, special events, all of these things exist and can take a toll on your finances and your dreams if you allow them to. With this journey of generational wealth, you'll have to entrench yourself into your dreams or your thoughts that you want to have for yourself and your family. Don't buy into new or fancy things that'll create an allure of having something special that will be completely short term if you allow them to happen. I'm not here to sell you a dream. This isn't easy at all, but with practice and application comes progress. Transfer of knowledge/value. So this may be confusing to some people, but transferring knowledge is essential to creating generational wealth and maintaining it. If you create wealth for your children, but don't inform them of the value of money or how to maintain it, your dreams of creating generational wealth for them and their children will end abruptly with them. So let's be straightforward and blunt. You're creating generational wealth so that your kids and their kids can pursue their endeavors without having to worry about how they'll pay the bills. Not so that they can stunt on spring break or buy a new Rolex. This is the best gift that you can ever give your children and have them pass it on to their children as well. Invest, invest, invest. This is the heart of what creates generational wealth. Investing creates future value or wealth for current money. Investments and investing are synonymous with the stock market, ETFs, and index funds, but aren't limited to only that. Real estate, bonds, IPOs, startups, and annuities are all investments that you can make outside of individual stocks. There are a million ways to invest. We'll delve deeper into the different ways that you can invest in a later video. The biggest thing to consider with investments is that there is little to no instant gratification. Currently, we tend to view or want things to happen instantaneously. There aren't instantaneous changes with investments, and if you do get them, they'll be infrequent and short-lived. Remember, you're playing the long game. Looking for a quick buck won't lead to that same dollar being available or having created additional value 20 or 30 years from now. Investing, especially in the form of return dividends from investments, takes time, and it creates what we like to call the snowball effect, where the investment or return dividend starts out as a small amount and then slowly goes downhill, becoming larger and larger and larger as time progresses, with that dividend being reinvested into the original investment. Using things such as DRIP, which is a dividend reinvestment program, create compounded interest and allow your investments to grow bigger, longer, and stronger over time. The earlier you start investing, the better. Building from nothing takes time, but remember, With all generational wealth, someone had to start from zero. Never forget or always remember who or what you're doing this for. Everyone starts with zero, but you control what you or your family end up with at the end of this journey. If you find yourself older and with less time in terms of having multiple years to invest, use the step described earlier where you transfer value or information to a future generation and bring them on board and tell them the different steps that you're taking with the investments so that they can continue it into the future. Starting later doesn't mean that you lost or failed. Passing on knowledge is just as important, if not more important, than passing on money. So what are some examples of families that have created generational wealth that you can look at right now for reference? I'll give you a few of them. The first would be the Walton family. Everyone knows about Walmart and Sam Walton and how he created Walmart in Arkansas. What people don't know or don't realize is that the Walton family to this day remains the richest family within the United States. And the thing about that is that we're not talking about all together. Individually, Sam Walton's heirs still top the list with regards to their individual value. Okay, so you know about the Waltons. One family you may not know about are the Mars family. Ever think about M&M's and the family that owns that company and multiple other candy companies as well? The Mars family is also another great example of generational wealth that is transcended. Whenever you have families where you may not know the individual names of every heir apparent, but the last name is synonymous with wealth, that is generational wealth. Guys, so in today's video, we've talked about generational wealth. We've defined it. We've talked about different habits and steps that you can take to start the road of generational wealth for you and your family, and also identified some U.S. families that have created generational wealth for themselves as well. I truly hope that this information has helped you start that process for yourself and your family as well. If it has, be sure to smash that like, subscribe, and notification bell so that you'll continue to get updates on content that is coming from this channel similar to this video. And always remember, guys, there is no goal that is unattainable when you apply everyday finance. I'll see you guys in the next video.